Jean Clair Todibo has confirmed that talks indeed have taken place between him and two Premier League clubs. I'm giving you details about that. Welcome to the Unietd Sport. My name is Webb. As we do keep waiting for the results from the ongoing review of the season by INEOS and Erik ten Hag, well, here is exactly what's going on the other side, because it doesn't mean that, because they're reviewing a season, nothing is going on. So in an exclusive interview he had with the Telegraph, Jean Clair Todibo revealed some interesting things about him. He's only 24, but he has, I think, had a good taste of football. He has played in four major European leagues, including in Spain. He played at Schalke after failing in Barcelona. He went in Benfica and then in France. Now, he has certainly evolved as a player, but he has revealed that indeed he held talks with two Premier League clubs, including Manchester United, and the other club that we know has wanted him has been Tottenham. So he said he feels ready to make the big move. Giving his story, he shared how he thought he was so young when he joined Barcelona, and that's why he failed to get playing time to the likes of Gerard Piqué and Umtiti, and the likes were there. And he did not really get playing time because of age. But he feels now he's more ready, he's more mature, he can make better decisions. He has got a family, he's got kids, he's a national team player, and now he can follow in the he can follow his former teammate, that is William Saliba, who was with him at Nice, to come in the Premier League and hope to shine the way Saliba has indeed shined for Arsenal. So he says he's ready, and Manchester United seem to be already ahead, I think, in that move for him. I think if there's one move that United is taking a lead in, it's that for Jean Clair Todibo. I think I'm almost convinced now that he might be our first signing of the season after that interview that he dropped in the Telegraph. Now, that means that of course, remember he's priced at about 40 million pounds, between 40 and 45 million pounds, between 35 and 45 million pounds. That's the range. So it seems, I think, Man United might certainly now start thinking of having a proper centre back partnership for the longer haul, and of course, the other being Lisandro Martinez to come and partner Todibo. Now, this is a key department that Man United has got to sort. He's coming in as a direct replacement for Rafael Varane, who left the club. So it's a good thing. Maybe a few things to worry about Todibo as we look at him. And this is what I think most people don't know about him. He got a nasty accident when he was a kid. And I think he was 9. He had a terrible accident that actually doctors told him he would never play football again. But he was able to work his way out and be able to come back and play football at the topmost level. And now he's playing consistently at the top league. So he says, because why I think it is the move is about to happen is that he came to justify sort of why he thinks now it is the right time for him to move to move to a big club, a big league. Because when he went to Nice, he wanted to play at a top league more consistently. His coach also speaks highly about him, how he's about his things I spoke about here, obviously about his technical ability, his speed, his ball passing, ways and stuff. So in terms of his game, I think he has come of age. And if the player is feeling it himself, probably not all of us are wrong. So I think for me, it's that time. He's 24 and it's that time he comes in. Imagine him partnering Lisandro Martinez on the left, Todibo on the right, and of course, you get Dalot on the right, our player of the season. Then we need now to think of a left back. We probably think we would have a semblance of a good back line. Remember, with Erik ten Hag and how he wants to play, even other teams, not just him, modern teams want to play from the back. I think Todibo can sort of give you that. He can play well from the back because he's good on the ball. He's a pass of the ball. I mean, for someone who was in the Barcelona academy, think about a style like that of Gerard Piqué. But with him, I think he's got a balance of physicality and the technique and ball passing, skills. So Gerard is less physical. He's mostly good with the ball on his feet. But this is how most managers want to play. So in the Premier League, you need both. You need the technicality and the ball possessing, but also to be physical. So Todibo, I think, fits into the Premier League so well. And the fact that INEOS own the player, I think, honestly, in a situation where there is no money, we certainly have a good advantage to sign him ahead of any other club that would be interested in him. So this is what is happening, that Todibo is seriously coming in. He's considering moving away to try and follow his former colleagues to see what exactly he can do in a top club. So I think that would be a good step, first step in the right direction with INEOS. That even when most of the other things are looking like they are slowed, at least signing in a marquee player would give fans an idea of what of progress. Because between now and the past, all of the people INEOS have signed, I think it's only Jason Wilcox who is working. We have to wait until mid-June to see Omar Berada working. So we cannot really be here and brag about Omar Berada before he comes in. Can we? Dan Ashworth is still uncertain. So and then when it comes to the manager, Eric Ten Hag, they are still trapped in reviews to come up to a decision. So I honestly think it's a good development. And for it to come from the player, it shows you that he wants and the hunger is there. I think he's a boyhood Man United supporter. He seems to be. He had trials at Man United, by the way, Todibo. He held trials at Manchester United. I think he failed them because he got an ugly accident at 9. I mean, when he left, before he went, I think it was around 16, when he failed trials, I think, with Man United. But he has always been, I think, a player who has got a determination and character. I mean, if you go through such a bad injury and you fight your way back to come and play top football, it speaks volumes about you. And these are the kinds of characters we want in a club like Manchester United. A fighter in him, and that fight will come in to push Manchester United. So of the centre backs we've been linked with, I think Todibo is a front runner, and him coming out to say it is good enough for us to now start looking ahead. Honestly, this is what we need now. These are the conversations we need to be trapped in right now, because with the season done, we cannot be going back and forth about the manager. I think we need now to be setting the tone for the transfer window, because it's the most important thing coming up in weeks. It's just in weeks that the transfer, in days, if I should, that the transfer window will be open. Now, when the transfer window is open, you want to focus on the players you bring in, not which manager, because the transfer is not about managers, it's about the players, isn't it? So this is a good little progress going on. Now, one other player, of course, you want to talk about in the transfers is Mason Greenwood, and it has just been broken. He's been voted Getafe's best player of the season, player of the year. He has won the award in departure. Obviously, he'd had to. I think he single-handedly inspired them to be a mid-table club from a bottom-table club. I think because of Greenwood, he was able to become a mid-table, because even in games they lost, where he wasn't the best player, I think clearly Mason Greenwood was always Getafe's best player. He inspired them to finishing 12th on the league. I think that's close to, okay, it's still bottom half, but it's close to top. I think for some time they were floating in the mid table. So you think that's respectable enough for a team like Getafe that has not got so much money and of course good players in them. So Greenwood is their best player, and INEOS are still yet to make a decision on him. But contractually, if the preseason gets to come and he's still a United player, if they have not got for him a loan place to go, he can come back and train with the club. And for me, that for me would be a good first step in a direction that most of us would want. So that's exactly what's going on. So a good, interesting update there coming through, of course, concerning our players, important players for Manchester United as we head into an important period. So I think right now I can say, if we are to rate who would be the first transfer for Manchester United, I think the chances of Todibo for me would be about 8 out of 10. I think we would have Todibo in before we had in Michael Olise. And isn't it the more logical thing to do? Because if you look at these departments, the departments where the two play, the centre back has been our biggest problem this season. Injuries are now a confirmed departure. The forwards where Olise plays is not really, the problems are not exactly in proper lack of personnel. I think it's having so many wrong personnel, or not putting good use to them, or not making decisions about the personnel. So for me, before we spend money on Michael Olise, I think it's wiser and smarter that we first spend on a centre back, and Todibo being the chosen one. I think it only makes sense that we move quick for him, because like I said, you know that Spurs are highly interested in changing things around. Their boss Postecoglou recently came out to say in his 26 or so years of management, he has probably never seen worse players than the Spurs players. So it shows you that they are also hungry to come and change a few things around for the team. So if we don't move fast and dwell a lot on Eric Ten Hag and whether or not we should keep him, we might miss out on even players like Todibo, with whom we even held talks already. So it's important for us to move quick and make decisions about these players. So at least some good update as we go into this, the transfer window is that Todibo wants us. He has made up his mind. He's ready to move, and he knows that at Manchester United he will get enough playing time, honestly. My name is Webb. This is the United of Sport. Subscribe, and I'll catch you later.